coming up here to speak, okay? No, I'm just kidding. Are you really?
Testing. Hello. You want this kind or the other kind? The other?
Usually back here, but if I move it back there, these rows are too far up. So I have to move on them rows back. Thank you.
Mr.
Hey,
Mayor,
Barb.
it's 7 o'clock.
All right, thank you. I'd like to call the May 31st, 2022 special council meeting to order. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Seeing none, are there any presentation by citizens on the agenda item we have before us? Any citizen here to speak on that? Nope. Okay, we're going to go on to new business. And the approval to submit a letter to the Richland County Transportation Committee from the council in whole regarding the Broad River widening project. And I'll make a motion for that approval. Is there a second for discussion? Just a second for discussion. Does nobody wants to second it for discussion? Barbara? Nope. Nobody wants to second it? So everybody's cool with the not discussing Broad River Road widening project? Something we've been working on for months. Is that true? You don't want to discuss it? That's interesting because this is a major project that we've been working on with the county, and I would like to pen a letter to the Richland County Council, basically finding out where they are in our support of the widening project. So, well, the council doesn't want to discuss it. I would like to get a presentation from citizens. Any present citizens here? Mr. Mahoney, are you here for presentation by citizens to tell us where we are? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael J. Maloney. I'm the Interim Transportation Director and Director of Public Works.
Right.
With this project, as a former resident on Marina Road, I'm aware of the need for the project and the queuing that occurs at Coon Road and several other locations during rush hour. And that was up to a year ago, and I've made that visit in the evenings to check out our various widening projects as we were going through rescoping projects for their criticality. One of the things I noticed is that's done nothing but gotten worse over the last year. And part of that may be, lane closures, interchange closures, different things going on Highway 26, and certainly, growth in the area. So we looked at a schedule we received from our consulting engineer, which was, say, from 2 months ago, starting April 1, a 50-month schedule to get to construction. And I think that made its way to a lot of citizens. And we certainly heard feedback on it and looked at it and thought it was a long time to get that project out and start construction. So we met with the OET, as we call it, our consulting engineer. And I have copies of this to leave with your administrator, 2 copies there of an updated schedule. And we had to meet with them because to cut that down to a 32-month schedule, which was my goal. And in the end, it was a 33-month schedule we all agreed to that would put us into construction at the end of 2024. So right now, the schedule started in April, and we are almost through with May. So I checked in with our team that meets regularly with the consultant to see where we are in a few things. One of the early things I was made aware of is this corridor is what I call water rich as far as domestic potable water delivery from that water tower we see on the hill. From there's a 54-inch water line that crosses the road, which isn't a problem today. It goes across the road underground, and then it bends towards Coon Road, and then it bends along Coons Road. So for about 300 feet. When the road widens, that would be under the new road. And so one of the things that we have to do is either move that water line or get an exception from South Carolina DOT to leave it where it is. And Columbia Water said, leave it where it is because that serves a number of people. That is a major transmission line of water. Just beyond that, there's a 36-inch water line that just crosses the road. It doesn't have that bend to it, and we'd have to cross that as well. But it does have an air release valve and a 36-inch gate valve within the road. And so something like you might see in St. Andrews Road, there'd be castings for gaining access, manhole access into those castings. And our designer believes they can work those out so they'll be outside wheel patterns. So step one here is we're getting a letter from Columbia Water, and we have all the information we need to submit at that exception to DOT saying we want to leave those utilities where they are. By doing that, we would also be doing things that would shorten the schedule. Mm-hmm. To date, we had surveyed that pipe. We're conducting additional topographic surveys with the consultant to be completed by mid-June. Today, we just received good news from SCDOT. We had previously in 2019 completed a traffic warrant and a traffic memo. The traffic warrant was to add 2 new signals, one at Royal Tower Road where we know it desperately needs one, and the other one is at Farming Creek Road, which when I look at the overview of the town, looks like a great planning area, whether there could be future development, there could be other things coming out in that intersection. Those both met warrants in 2019, and so DOT has accepted that today as good data. The other thing on the traffic memo, we had 3 intersections on a report that allows for a new configuration at Coon Road, Dutch Fork Road, and Royal Tower Road, and so those were accepted with minor comments. So that just happened today. Environmental-wise, we're doing a culture resource report and updating the report. That's on schedule to be completed in the full report submitted by the end of June. In the roadway design that's underway, the preliminary plans are being updated to the DOT standards, and those are scheduled to start right after the survey's done in June and be completed on our schedule in September. One of the critical things that we have to do to take on that kind of schedule, it's now down to 31 months, is acquisition, property acquisition. To widen this from Royal Tower Drive to Chick-fil-A. 5 lanes will require property on both sides of the road, entire corridor. So that's about 150 properties. To do that efficiently, we're putting together a briefing document for county council approval. We're hiring through this consultant a professional, Pam, to do the acquisition with a large team and to get all those appraisals and everything started in August of this year. DOT won't accept negotiating with them until we're at 60% plans, but there's a lot of work to do in preparation for that up front to maintain this schedule. So one of those would be to ask county council for our authority to use eminent domain through the corridor. Not all the properties have to be settled through condemnation, but it would allow us to have that authority to keep the project on schedule. And that's the critical path, really, to get it done. So that's our update. We know the need. We know it's critical. And whatever you do and however you go forward, I just have the authority to act within county staff and to keep it on schedule. So,
County hasn't pulled the project at all. County has not pulled the project.
no, sir.
Okay, and it's still on track.
July 20th of 2021, we rescoped the project, put it back to 5 lanes, the entire corridor,
Right.
and to have sidewalk from Royal Tower Drive to Woodrow.
Okay. Thank you for that update. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, presentation, any more presentation by citizens? Seeing none, since nobody else on council is concerned about this road but me, I will be penning a letter to the county council, basically reiterating my desire to have this project completed by the county and not transferred to DOT. I understand that y'all have a bunch of questions that you asked DOT. If it was transferred to them as far as starting over, would you have to start over from scratch? Would you have to go back to the real planning phase of this? And that's where the letter that was sent to DOT from Director Brown, I don't know if you got the answers back.
I don't. I can't speak for DOT, but the only thing that might have to start over is the consultant contract and things like that, under design.
Yeah,
But I can't, I won't be able to speak to how that would affect the schedule.
Do you know if you got the answers back from DOT that he asked them? I'll ask the Director Brown that question. That'd be
Okay.
fine.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Executive session, is executive session needed? Seeing none, make a motion for adjournment then. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
This made second in motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, the special meeting is over. Thank you for that update. I will then get that information to y'all as soon as possible. Thank you.